待たせたな。これにて第一の番。いよいよ開幕。
They really did keep us waiting. It was quite a while before we actually got to the first Twilight in comparison to the previous episodes.
金蔵め、相変わらず派手を好む男よ。付きまとわれればしつこいことこの上なき男も、舞台の上ではこれほどまでに映えるというのか。
くそ、相変わらず黒い殺し方ばかりしやがって。頭部半壊だ。てめえら魔女ども悪魔どもの悪趣味には相変わらずうんざりさせられるぜ。
頭部半壊。なるほど。これまでのゲームで一番理想的な殺し方がこれだと気づいたわけね。
Okay, we don't have their corpse information just yet.
理想的？このひでえ殺し方がどう理想的だってんだ。
実に理想的じゃない。一番最初のゲームを思い出してみるといい。
お前はさっき登場しやがった新しい悪魔とかいうやつか。くそ、また魔女の侵食が進んでろくでもないやつが増えたというわけなのか。
The more the witch's corrosion advances, the more Rokkanjima tilts toward the spirit world. That's why strange, insane people keep appearing one by one. This island has been closed off by the typhoon, so no human can leave it, much less appear as a new character to increase their numbers. But the more the corrosion advances, the more witches and demons can appear without limit, increasing one by one. By now, there might be more demons than humans among the characters appearing in this insane tale. Their numbers might be the thing that represents this mad corrosion. Well, let's actually count. We've got, hold on. So, we've got, Beatrice, she probably counts. Then we've got, Gap, and we've got Runaway, and Virgilia, so that's 4. Then we've got, the 3 Chiester sisters, so that's 7. And then we've got the 7 Sisters of Purgatory, so that's 14. So far, they don't actually outnumber the number of humans. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. And the corrosion hasn't just affected the number of people, but apparently their fashion sense as well. If the corrosion advances any further and even more weird people appear, just what in the world will they be wearing? It's so scary I can't imagine. Seriously, give me a break. Don't make these weird guys increase in number anymore.
そうはいかんぞ。まだまだ増やすぞ。人間どもの語るクローズドサークルなる間抜けなルール、わらわがいくらでも怪我してやろう。よく来たな、我が優雅なるゲームガープよ。
お久しぶりね、リーチェ。お元気だった？というか随分元気そうじゃない。あなた若返った？私が知ってる頃より2、300歳は若々しいわ。ああ、なるほど。
The demon grandfather had summoned and introduced as Gap, took a glance at me, and then grinned as though she'd figured out something on her own. That smile felt openly obscene.
レアとの友人らしいな。ってことは輪をかけてろくでもねえやつってわけだ。しかしクローズドサークルがなんとかって言ってやがったが、どういう意味だ。
今の六軒島のような外界から断絶された場所で起こる連続殺人ミステリーはクローズドサークルとも呼ばれるわ。外界からの断絶、つまりは閉じられた輪の世界というわけ。故に登場人物と容疑者は限定されるのが一般的にもかかわらず、新しい容疑者候補が次々に輪の外から追加されていくのはミステリーの作法に反する。つまり人間とミステリーに対する魔女の冒涜ってつもりなんでしょう。
Except it doesn't really affect anything for us because we know that these aren't real. These characters aren't real until we see them with our own eyes. So we basically don't even really have to consider them as being real. Although Runaway, I'm still thinking he might be real.
あなたがグレーテル？なるほど。賢い子みたいね。そういう子は好きよ。舌が甘くてとろけるから。
気色悪い。冗談を吹くだけにしておく。
デビリッシュプリティの最新作、ジャック・ザ・リッパー・クリスマス・ブラッド。人間界の田舎娘には理解できないセンスでごめんね。
通気性がいいのだけは理解できたわ。ついでに頭にも切れ目を入れたら脳みその通気性も良くなるかもね。
ガープは魔界の流行にいつも敏感でな。しかし今年の流行りも実に大胆だ。わらわも一度ぜひ取り寄せてみるとしよう。
リーチにはアリグレがおすすめね。アリス&ザ・グレイブヤード。今度一緒に666にお洋服見に行きましょうよ。
That's kind of funny that there's a mall somewhere in the spirit world called 666. They play on the 106 in Shibuya.
たまには魔界にもいらっしゃいな。
このゲームを終えたらぜひそうしようぞ。
それにしてもリーチの対戦相手のお二人はなかなか可愛いわ。この子なら東部半壊死体にどういう意味があるか察しがつきそうね。わかる？お嬢ちゃん。
さっきこいつは一番最初のゲームを思い出せと言ったな。どういう意味だ？
言葉通りの意味を。一番最初のゲームの第一の番を思い出して。大人たちの死体が魔法陣の描かれた園芸倉庫の中で発見された時のことよ。覚えてる
Episode 1, The First Twilight. Kraus, Rudolph, Kirie, Rosa, Shannon, and Goda. All 6 of them had their heads pulverized and died.
あの時、あそこには2種類の死体があったわ。それは顔面を粉砕された死体と側面を粉砕された死体の2種類。
そう、顔面粉砕はルドルフ、キリエ、ローズ、ゴーダの4人。側頭部粉砕はクラウス、シャノンの2人だ。わらわもあの時点では気まぐれに生み出した2種類の死体であったが、より残忍な死体である前者の方がわらわにとってむしろ不利であることに気づいたのだ。
ベアトにとって不利。
Oh, because it allows him to say that it's not actually them, and that they're alive, or they could have been alive the entire time. So if we have half of their face remaining, we can't say that, so it kind of limits our moves a bit.
そうか、そういうことか。
That's right. The smashed faces might look atrocious, but that made it hard to confirm the identity of each person. For example, at that time, Uncle Kraus and Shannon-chan had their heads half smashed. That alone was atrocious enough, but because half of their faces remained, it was easy to confirm their identities. But Dad and the other 3 were different. Because his face had been completely destroyed, even I, as his son, could only guess by inference that it had to be Dad because of his clothes and the like. In short, it remained vague until the end whether that really had been Dad's corpse.
第1のゲームの時にも、もしも推理バトルが行われてたなら、俺は多分、親父たちの死体を本人確認不能のため、偽装死体の可能性もあると主張していたかもしれない。何しろ、あのゲームの時には、ベアとは一切赤での発言もしていない。
お上手よ。それで正解。偽装死はミステリーの基本の一つ。たとえ医者に検証させたとしても、犯人とグルを疑われればその結果は信用できない。つまり確実な死を保証できない死体は常に魔女サイドを不利にするということ。
あらゆる死体について偽装死を疑い、その後の事件の犯人に想定することができる。バトラの嫌う手だけど、魔女に対する最も初歩的な一手。
ああ、そうだ。だからベアとは赤を使い出した。赤き真実で完璧な検証を行うようになったんだ。
そういうことだ。本来ならばこの第一の番の惨劇に対し、わらわはすぐにでも赤き真実にてこの度の6人の死亡を確定させるところである。しかし知っての通り、今回のわらわの戦闘はこれまでとは正反対、赤き真実の兵糧攻めといったところ。そなたが反撃の拠り所にしようとする以上、わらわは容易には赤を使わぬ。必要最低限の赤にたった一箇所だけほころびさせればいい。つまりわらわは究極的に言えば、そなたのあらゆる密室の推理についてあらゆる暴言を許せども、そのうちの一つ、たった一回の赤き真実にて打ち破るだけで良いわけだ。
散々俺をいたぶってきやがったくせに、俺が反撃に使い出したら今度は引っ込めやがったってわけだ。ふざけやがってよ。
とにかく赤を使いたくない、蹴っちりたい。バトラをいじめてやりたい。しかし赤を使わずに確実なる死を保証するにはどうすればよい。わらわは悩みに悩んだわけだ。そのアイデアをガープがくれた。実に簡単な方法だったのだ。
当たり前なことを言ったらリーチがひらめくだけよ。私は誰にでも容易に身元の判別と完全なる死が理解できる死体を用意すればいいと言っただけ。
つまりはその2つを合体させたわけ。身元の判別に必要な顔と完全なる死の象徴である魂の器たる頭部の粉砕。
Yeah, I guess at that point there's pretty much no saying that they could have faked their death at all.
この2つを左右ぴったりきれいに合体させたらあら不思議。
I mean, I guess you could argue that maybe that like half of their face is covered in like movie makeup, but it depends on whether you can see inside of it or not.
この頭部半壊死体がパーフェクトであるという答えが出たわけだ。
お前絶対2色パンとか2色アイスが好きだろ。欲張りな子供趣味丸出しだぜ。
いずれにせよ、たとえ頭部が半壊していたとしても、現時点では彼らが死んだとみなすべきではないわ。
Yeah, because we haven't seen their corpses.
分かってる。ベアトがもったいぶって赤での宣言を拒む以上、全ては疑ってかかるべきだ。もちろんシエスタの太もも姉ちゃんたちの魔法殺人だって鵜呑みになんか絶対しねえぜ。
本当に慎重になったこと、 最初のゲームの頃だったなら何でもかんでも鵜呑みにしてくれていたのにね。
好敵手はこうでなくては面白くないというものよ。今は赤がないことを幸いに自由な想像を広げ、好きに推理を重ねるがいい。一番最後、一番おいしいところ、バッサリと赤き真実見て叩き切ってくれようぞ。
Silent, black, cold, painful. Rosa regained consciousness bit by bit. And the first thing she thought was that it would have been better if she hadn't. After all, with her body this cold and hurting, the pain grew the more her consciousness returned. It felt like she'd been sleeping on ice-cold marble in the darkness, lying face down for a long time. This is why I always tell myself, even if it's just for a nap, I've got to at least grab a sofa. I know that, if I naively try to close my eyes for just a second, and end up sleeping on the floor or in the study chair, it'll hurt my body later and make things difficult. Since I slept on such a cold and hard floor, even my bones are ice cold. Since I slept on such a hard and cold floor, the half of my face pressed down against it hurts a lot. If I were to look at a mirror right now, I'm sure I'd see an embarrassing mark. I didn't think that just rubbing it would make that mark disappear, but I stroked the hurting side of my face anyway, trying to smooth it over. I wonder where this is. I thought it was pitch black, but it looks like it isn't. After all, I can faintly see my own body. Without a doubt, there was some source of light, but even if I looked up at the ceiling or else the sky, there was only an expanse of blackness and I couldn't see a proper light. My body alone was slightly lit, whereas everything else was sunk in darkness. That's what this world was like. It was almost as though Rosa alone had been abandoned in a forgotten world. As her mind grew clearer, she started to get nervous about why she was all alone in a lonely place like this. When she was about to call out, asking if anyone was there, she heard the patter-patter of footsteps coming towards her. They were light footsteps, or so she thought it was. So she thought it was probably a kid. She didn't sense anything disturbing, so she wasn't afraid. But they also weren't Maria's footsteps. So, wondering who in the world would be in a darkness like this, she stared in the direction the footsteps were coming from. As she did, a faint, approaching silhouette came into view. It looked like a child much younger than Maria. Who is it? I don't know this kid. But the expression on his face was like a lost child separated from his parents. As a parent with a daughter herself, Rosa felt as though her chest had been torn apart.
Uryu.
The instant that the kid muttered that infantile word, she felt pain in the half of her face that had started hurting from the cold floor, as though it had been pierced by long, thin, hard needles. Without thinking, she pressed her hand against the side of her face.
大丈夫？まだ痛い？
ありがとう、僕。ここはどこ？すごく寒いわ。
こっちへ来て。ここにいちゃいけない。
That child took my other hand and pulled with a grim expression on his face. Rosa didn't have a clue what was going on. However, a single, honest expression on a child can often tell the truth better than 100 words from an adult. She didn't know the situation, but even so, she dashed along with him, still being pulled. But this was a world where nothing could be seen in the darkness except for their own forms. It didn't even really feel like she was moving forwards. Even though she was running, she couldn't feel any wind. It was as though she was still inside a nightmare, that kind of unreal sensation. So even though I ran, I couldn't maintain my sense of balance, and my legs got tangled and I fell. Even in a world that didn't feel real, the pain of smashing my face against the cold hard floor was reality itself.
ウリュウ、大丈夫？ごめんなさいね。頭が痛むの。
When the kid said that infantile word, uryu, pain like being stuck with needles ran through my head again. Even though it had only happened twice, I was somehow able to understand that the child's word was the cause of my pain. So I said so frankly.
ごめんなさい。その、ウリュウという口癖をやめてもらえる？ウリュウ。ちょっと、やめてって言ってるでしょ。ごめんなさい。
I had the feeling that this child's apology caused a sharp pain in my forehead this time. What is this child? I know there's no malice in him, but when I'm around this child, my head hurts.
大丈夫？早く行こう。ここは行っちゃダメ。どうしてここに行っちゃダメなの？ねえ、ここはどこ？あなたは誰？あなたのママはどこ？僕を作ってくれたのはママだよ。
That child stared at me with round eyes. This kid's mama is me? Who? Who is this kid? I don't remember at all.
僕のこと忘れちゃった？ママが僕を作ったんだよ。ちょっと冗談はやめて。私の子供はマリアだけよ。そう。マリアはどこ？マリアはどこなの？マリア！
I suddenly grew nervous about Maria not being there. Why am I all alone in a place like this? Where is Maria? I'm only able to be me because Maria's there for me.
マリアはいるけど、今はマリアじゃない。今は会わない方がいいの。その方がママのためだし、マリアのためなの。マリアのためにも逃げて。え？何を言ってるの？マリアはどこ？マリア！返事をして！マリアに見つかっちゃう。早くこっちに来て、ママ！
A child pulled on my hand again. He was probably pulling me in the opposite direction from Maria, so I stopped walking.
話してよ、大体。あなたは誰よ？あなたにママなんて言われる覚えはないわよ。僕を作ってくれたのはママだよ。忘れちゃったの？マリアのバースデープレゼントに僕を手作りしてくれたの。忘れちゃったの？あなた、まさかマリアの作太郎？うん、ママに作ってもらったライオンのぬいぐるみだよ。
A fierce, sharp pain struck me. It came from the palm he had grasped with his hand. When I knocked his hand away without thinking and looked at my palm, a hole the size of a thumb had opened there, and deep red blood gushed out. It was a hole so big that I could see through to the other side. 大丈夫？大丈夫？ Sakutaro noticed my wound and panicked. As far as I could tell by looking at him, he couldn't understand why my hand had sustained a serious injury. But in my eyes, it felt like I'd been injured because he'd grabbed my hand. Regardless of whether there was malice in him, I understood that this child was something that would do harm to me, and he instantly seemed eerie.
あっちへ行って。あなたなんか知らないわ。作太郎は気持ち悪い下手。私は知らないわよ。ママなんかじゃないわよ。あっちへ行って。消えて。いや。
Slowly, the base of Sakutaro's neck was sliced in a horizontal line. It gaped open, and pitch-black insides peeked out. No blood poured from it. Only an empty blackness peeked out. Then, from the insides of the gash, cotton snow poured out, and as bits of cotton scattered, he slumped over. Then all that remained was a crumpled yellow cloth, and bits of cotton that looked like sticky, crushed cotton candy. A lion stuffed animal, without a doubt. These were the remains of the Sakutaro stuffed animal I tore apart on that day, while overcome by my emotions. The instant I realized that, a long, sharp shriek that could rupture an eardrum tore the world apart. Like a flood from a broken dam, or like a broken TV, Maria cried out in a high-pitched voice. Her voice, which made the ears throb, brought up two emotions in me. One was regret. Yeah, I was overcome by emotions and went overboard. It was a mother's desire to kneel down right away, hold Maria's head, cry with her, and apologize. In actual fact, I did that right away. I held Maria's head and apologized, crying. But Maria didn't stop crying. On the contrary, she rejected me, the one who had torn her closest friend apart, and pushed me away forcefully with both hands. I'd been on my knees in an unnatural position, so I fell backwards easily. Maria scraped together the yellow scraps of cloth and cotton bits, buried her face in them, and cried even more. Watching that, another emotion welled up. It welled up rapidly, and then it burst. After all, she refused to make up with me even though I had apologized, and there was nothing else I could do now anyway, and it was all Maria's fault in the first place. Since she's too busy playing with stuffed animals all the time like this, she can't make any friends, and that's why people treat her like a freak. This is a perfect opportunity to give her some instructive guidance. After all, it's not like I was pampered all the time. Everything eventually breaks, is stolen, is destroyed by someone. Even I had lots of toys and treasures stolen, broken, mocked, and thrown away by my brothers and sister, and father and mother. When I cried about that, while I might have shed a few tears, not once did I sob like this and trouble my parents, throw a tantrum, get mad, hit the floor and kick and make a racket. Even though I always wanted to, I thought I'd get in more trouble if I did, so I always held it back. It's because I held it back that I was able to become the wonderful adult I am now. At that moment, I felt something strange. The same feeling as when you use a tool recklessly, and it finally breaks so that only the base is left. But I wasn't using a tool. I'd just been repeatedly hitting Maria's head with both hands, so I looked at my hands. From my wrists onward, my hands had broken off, splintered, and disappeared, as though only that part of my arms had become ceramic. as though all of me from the wrists onward had suddenly become ceramic and had broken and fallen. They must have gotten filled with cracks because I hit Maria too much before falling off. After all, look, aren't both of my wrists lying smashed by my feet? There was no pain, but the shocking sight of my hands breaking off from the wrists onward made me scream. Ignoring my confusion, Maria spoke with an icy voice, slowly moving her hands away from my head, where they had been defending against my barrage. Behind Maria's back, a black silhouette had appeared. It was the silhouette of an adult. Who?
娘の頭を絵本を見る。温かい食事を作ることのできる腕なら残してもよいか。
ママはマリアの頭を撫でるより叩く方が多いよ。絵本なんかめくってくれない。ご飯だって作ってくれない。マリアが自分で買いに行くの。でも同じお店に何度も行っちゃいけないし、顔を覚えられてもいけない。おまわりさんに話しかけてもいけない。なんで？どうして？マリアが悪いの？マリアはママに撫でてもらったり、絵本を読んでもらったり、一緒にご飯を食べたりしちゃいけないの？どうして？どうして？マリア悪くないよ。マリア悪くない。ママが悪い。ママが悪い。ママは一緒に遊んでくれないけど、サクタロは一緒に遊んでくれた。本も読んでくれた。テレビも見てくれた。一緒にご飯も食べてくれた。ママよりもっともっと大切な友達だったのに。
悪かったと思ってるわ。でも仕方ないでしょ。ママは仕事で忙しいのよ。仕事で。ママの仕事が忙しいのは知ってるでしょ。仕方ないのよ。仕方ない。
そう、これは仕方なき。そなたの娘が傷つき、心を引き裂かれ、涙に血を浮かべることさえ、これは仕方なき。なれば今この場にてこのようなることになるもまた、すべては仕方なき子。さあマリ、母を名乗った女の言い分は以上だ。許せ。いいな。無罪か、はたまた有罪か。
許せない。ママは有罪だ。サクタロにママがしたのと同じ目に遭わせてやる。ママを首の縫い目の引き裂いて中の綿をぶちまけてやる。
Maria's eyes ominously flashed blue. In that instant, invisible, massive arms stuck their fingernails out and tightly grasped Rosa's entire body. As the bones all over her body made a sound like twigs being stepped on, they cracked readily and broke apart. Rosa had understood vaguely. The massive arms were probably her own arms, from the time she'd torn Sakutato apart. From a stuffed animal's perspective, her arms certainly would have been this massive. So she could imagine what would happen next. The sharp nails stuck deep into the base of her neck, and she heard the skin tearing with her own ears. Then, as the two witches watched over her, Rosa's flesh was split in two, top and bottom. And Sakutaro had been torn apart, bits of cotton had flown about like snowflakes. But in Rosa's case, something like black, thick tar came out, filthily flying all over the place. There wasn't even a trace of the red of blood. It was something black, filthy, and thick. It was probably what a bloodless, tearless human kept inside their body.
This is very醜い。なんと汚らわしき中身か。見事であったぞ、マリア。さあどうか。そなたの復讐。これにそなたは母を許せるか。無罪か有罪か。
許せ、まだまだ許せない。有罪だ。
When Beatrice brandished her pipe cane, gold butterflies seeped up and restored Rosa's broken flesh in an instant.
一つの命で償えぬほどのそなたの大罪、身をもって知る。そして自らの深き罪を思い出す。さあさあ思い出してごらんなさい。そなたがどれほどの罪を犯したか。
もしもし、ママなの？ママは何時に帰ってくるの？ごめんなさいね。今日も仕事が忙しくて泊まりになってた。またお仕事でお泊まり？ママのお仕事、今日も大変だね。うん、ごめんね。本当に忙しいの。もうずっと会社に缶詰よ。外の空気も吸えやしないわ。ママの仕事は早く終わらすだけじゃダメなの。より良いデザインをあげないと次から仕事をもらえない大変な仕事なのよ。だからどうしても時間がかかっちゃうの。うん、分かってるよ。マリア、いい子でお留守番してるからお仕事いっぱい頑張って早く終わらせてお家に帰ってきてね。ママのお仕事を分かってくれてありがとう。明日美味しいケーキを買って帰ることを約束するわ。ケーキいらないよ。ケーキ屋さんによって遅くなるよりその分ちょっとでも早くママが帰ってくる方が嬉しい。大丈夫よ。早く帰ってくるわ。約束する。だから美味しいケーキを2人で食べて美味しい紅茶を2人で飲んで一緒に新しい絵本を読みましょう。この間買った狼の羊のパズルで遊びましょうね。2人で一緒に。約束よ。うん、約束。待ってるね。お仕事頑張ってね、ママ。
ほうほう、寂しい話ではあるが互いを思い合う良き親子愛ではない。何か問題があるというのか。マリ、そしてローザ。
その約束は私はちゃんと守ったはずよ。
マリアは知ってたよ。あの日の夕方ね。ママ宛てに着払いの荷物が来たけどお財布の中のお金が足りなかったからママにどうしようって相談したくて会社に電話したの。特別な時以外はかけちゃダメって。ママのお仕事の大切なものだったら悪いしと思って電話したの。そしたらママはお休みだって言われた。その日はずっと前からお休みに決まってて遠くへ遊びに行っているって言われたの。マリアは知ってたよ。ママが嘘をついてるってずっとずっと知ってた。でもね、 サクタロがそうじゃないってマリアを叱ってくれたの。ママは毎日お仕事でとても大変。マリアを放っておいて遊んでるはずなんてないって。ママはお休みって言った人はきっと何か勘違いして言ってしまったんだよって。サクタロがそう言うんだもん。マリアは信じたよ。マリアは信じた。ママ大好き、ママ大好き。もちろんママだってマリアを愛してる、愛してるって。
ええ、私もよ。愛してるわ、マリア。
Rosa let out a deep sigh. Maybe she felt the weight of her words. Then she set the receiver on the bedside phone down. The dark room made the starry sky on the ground below the window stand out even more beautifully. On the table in front of the terrace was a very cold wine cooler, and the one she shared a glass with was gazing at the scene below.
娘さんに旅行って話してないんですか？
行くって言って前にうるさかったんで以来言わないことにしてるんです。その方が面倒がなくていいんで。
娘さんが気になるなら無理に日程を組まなくてもよかったじゃありませんか。
でもそれじゃいつまでたっても予定が合わないし。それは気にしないでって言ったでしょ。
The slender middle-aged man clad in a white robe gave a small sigh. Rosa reacted instantly to that slight action.
もう娘の話はなしにして。せっかくの上等なワインが台無しよ。
私はあなたに一人の人間としても女性としても魅力を感じています。ですがだからこそこうして時間を割くのは申し訳ないと感じています。
私と娘の事情は気にしないでくださいっていつも言ってるじゃないですか。あなたと二人きりの時に娘の話はしないようにしているでしょ。電話だって下のロビーでうるさい酔っ払いがバカ払いしてなければここではかけなかった。
ローザさん、こういう唐突な日程での旅行は娘さんのために今後は少し考えませんか？互いの日程があった時だけでいいじゃありませんか。
それじゃ全然日程が合わないじゃないですか。私はいつだって一緒にいたいのに。
それは子供の恋愛の仕方です。大人同士の恋愛はもう少しストイックであるべきですよ。ローザさんと一緒にいられる時間が長く取れないことは僕も寂しいです。ですがその限られた時間と機会で僕たちは十分に大人の恋愛を楽しめていると思いますよ。
それはもっと娘と一緒にいろと、女でなく母でいろということですか？
あなただって望んでいることでしょう。娘さんと一緒にゆっくり過ごしたいとあなただって思っているはずだ。僕は逃げません。僕との時間を優先するために娘さんを犠牲にするのは気の毒だと申し上げたいのです。
奥さんとのより戻したんですか？別れるのが嫌になったんですね。
妻の話はしたくない。あなたが娘さんの話をしたくないのと同じです。
子連れの女は面倒だって思ったんでしょう。
そんなこと今までに一度も言ったことはありませんよ。
みんな子連れだと分かると手のひらを返す。あの子の養育費は気にしなくていいからと言ってもみんな手のひらを返す。あなたは娘のことを理解してくれてると思ったのに、やっぱり子連れだと嫌なんですね。
そうは言っていません。ローザさんのことを嫌いになってなどいませんよ。私が言いたいのは娘さんをもっと大事にしなさい。あなた自身もそれを望んでいるはずだ。だから娘さんに嘘をついて自らを傷つけてほしくない。そう言ってるだけなんです。
嘘つき。私のことが面倒になっただけ。そうです。
そんなことは言っていない。
いいえ、わかるの。私にはわかるわ。あの子を理由に何度も捨てられた私だからわかるの。雰囲気でわかるわ。 そうよ、あなたもそう。他の男たちと一緒。子連れの女は嫌なのよ。バツイチは嫌なのよ。面倒なのよ。知らない男と作った子供の親になんかなりたくないんでしょ。ええ、そうよね。その気持ちすっごいわかるわ。子連れの男と付き合ったことがあるけど、その気持ちすっごいわかったの。だから娘を理解してくれるあなたとなら一緒になれるって信じたのに。そうよ、あんたなんて邪魔だったのよ。あんたさえいなければ私はとっくに女としての幸せをつかめたのよ。あんたの存在が私の幸せをいつも邪魔するのよ。私だってあんたなんか産みたくなかったわよ。いいえ、違うわ。あんたと一緒に幸せな家庭を築けたらと思ったわよ。でもあんたが生まれる直前にあいつは私と温かい家庭を築くと言って私を騙し、永遠に私の前から消え去ったわ。残ったのはあんただけ。愛も思い出も何もない。あの男は今どこへ。私との日々を温かな思い出に勝手に変えて新しい恋人に出会ったかもしれない。そして今度こそ幸せな家庭を築けたかもしれない。そして私はあんたがいる。恋も探せない。男は好きに女を渡り歩いて武勇伝気取りなのに、女には私にはあんたがいる。あんたという重しがいるのよ。あんたのせいで私は恋を探せない。愛が得られない。一人で生きていくしかない。いいえ、それさえも許されてないわ。私には一人で酔いつぶれたい夜さえ許されていない。あんたは誰？何者？私の人生を台無しにして私の新しい人生さえ許してくれないあんたは死ね！消えろ！あんたなんか生まれてきた時から大嫌い。あんたがお腹の中にいた頃から大嫌いだった。それを前向きに受け入れようと頑張って良き母を演じてきたわ。私は頑張った。同世代の女性たちが独身を謳歌し、時に恋に遊び、あるいは愛に結ばれるのを横目に見ながら、私は女と母の二足のわらじを履き続けたわ。その私の苦労を誰がねぎらったの？誰も褒めない、称えない。自業自得。この血は嫌。負け組の遠吠え、うぶな小娘がいい。こっちから願い下げよう。ケツの青い若造どもが。まだまだ恋をしたい年頃の私が。日々を仕事と育児で忙殺されていき、このまま老いてこのまま人生を終えるだろうと悟った時、どれほど必死だったか想像もつかないでしょうよ。あんたの本当の父親ももちろん憎いわよ。でも破局を迎えた責任は私と彼に半々だわ。私にも逃げられるだけのしつこさがあったのかもしれない。でもその後の破局は全部あんたのせい。私はあんたにそれをなじったことはあったないでしょ。男に逃げられて酔いつぶれたいその次の日があんたの授業参観。泣き晴らした目を発化粧でごまかして、あんたが的外れな発言をしてクラス中から失笑されてた時の私の気持ちなんて、あんたどころか世界中の誰にもわからないでしょうよ。そして
Maria's face was still stiff. If the words really had been blades, Maria's whole body would probably be stained red with fresh blood by now. Even after gaining the power of a witch and resolving herself to take revenge for Sakutaro, she couldn't stand these curses coming out of her mother's mouth.
Ah, これがこの女の本性。邪悪を極めし千年の魔女のわらわとて見るに耐えぬことこの上なし。ああマリアよ、今こそ決別の時。そなたの母を名乗った醜き肉の塊を打ち砕け。そなたの無垢なる魂、親子なる鎖にてこれ以上束縛される意味はなし。自らの魂、今こそ解放せよ。そなたは自らを守る牙と爪を今こそ手に入れたのだ。
マリアを苦しめてきた日々を今こそ思い知らせてやる。苦しみの日々を今こそ復讐してやる。
その私を苦しめてきたのはあんたじゃない。私が復讐したいくらいよ。あんたが生まれる前にそうすればよかった。あんたなんか生まなければよかった。消えてしまえ。うわ
As Rosa howled in a way that can only be described by the word splat, her upper body was crushed, and in an instant became something similar to a wrung, blood-stained towel.
潰れてしまえ。許せない。許せない。
クズがふさわしい姿よ。
Even though Rosa's waist and below was standing normally, just the upper half of her body had been pinched, and that extreme contrast was bizarre. Then she fell over. With the instant she fell, her body was restored.
死になさいよ。あ
さあそなたの怒りと悲しみ、この程度のものなの。今こそ復讐の時、怒りと悲しみの生産の時。ぶつけろ、吐き出せ。そなたの胸に打ち込まれたくさびをすべて押し出し跳ね返せ。
Maria's howl was adorned with the ugly sound of flesh and bone being crushed at the same time. As Rosa, who had foully insulted Maria, lay spread-eagled, a neat, perfect circle was cut out of her chest and crushed, as though her chest had been trampled by an invisible elephant. Her heart and her lungs and her ribs were trampled so mercilessly that they were completely indistinguishable. It might have symbolized the pain in Maria's heart up until today.
そなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。殺されるためによみがえれ。己が罪を見そぐために殺されよ、何度でも。
When Beta waved her cane, the body was restored again, and Rosa sat up, coughing violently in apparent pain. And once again, she spat out curses, rejecting Maria.
お前はママなんかじゃない。魔女だ。マリアとママを苦しめる魔女だ。ママの姿をしているからって許さない。許さない。
魔女はあんたでしょ。気持ち悪い本ばかりをね、魔女ごっこにかぶれて消えるのはあんたの方よ。あんたのせいで私まで変わり者扱い。あんたのせいで、あんたのせいで。お前なんか産まなければよかった。お前なんか生まれてくるな。生まれてくる前から大嫌いだったのよ。
Maria screamed. Was she unable to bear her anger and sadness? Or else had she been taken over by an indescribable emotion? It was surely a cry of hopelessness, and yet it was a reality that had to be accepted. Maria knew. She knew that she was thought of as a burden. But even though she herself had known that, she didn't believe it. She believed that her mother loved her and that had done her best to positively interpret several events that could have made her doubt this, trusting and clinging to her mother's love. But she had no one except Mama. Even so, she really did like Mama, and wanted to return to the days when she believed that Mama loved her. So I howled. I'll erase all of it. I won't accept it. I'll deny it. I'll deny the mother who says these things, the black witch who makes her say them, and the part of myself that can't forgive my mother. But I can't deny it. This is reality, fact, the truth, the answer. Without any mistake, this is absolute reality. Maria turned Rosa into a lump of meat, over and over in the dark world that reflected her heart, rang the ugly sound of flesh and bone being torn apart, which would make anyone want to cover their ears. Each time, Beatrice revived Rosa. She dragged her back into the world of endless torture, which could not be escaped from even by death. This was the true, deepest hell that the endless witch Beatrice could create. However, this world was not made endless by Beatrice's will, because every time Rosa turned into a lump of meat, she asked the same question to Maria.
気は晴れたか、マリア。そなたの怒り、母を許せるか。
許せるものか。許せるものか。許さない。許さない。マリアの苦しみのすべてを教えてやる。もっともっと教えてやる。まだまだ足りない。全然足りない。生まれた時から、生まれる前から蔑まれてきたこの怒りと悲しみがどうしても消せないの。
あんたなんか大嫌い、大嫌い。
Revive over and over again. Return to a meat lump over and over again. In various ways she crushed, smashed, beat, and tore to bits. Flying blood splatter and flesh turned the once pitch-black world into a world with mixed red and black. Maria's anger still hadn't calmed down. It was as though she was spitting out all of the suppressed rage from the time of her birth until today. If that all became poison to her heart, then would the repeated murder of her mother purify her soul? Would even this wasteful murder save her soul at least a little bit? This endless torture might have become a slight diversion from her sad, unrewarded life. After all, it seemed that she'd finally been able to regain her smile.
私の痛みがこの程度ではないことを。どうしたの？もう笑わないの？笑ってみせろよ。
Half of her skull collapsed, eyeballs flew out, and black cranial fluid gushed. Fragments of teeth scattered.
よみがえりなよ。笑ってみせなよ。ほらほら。
Her whole chest, along with her ribs, turned inside out, exposing her filthy innards. All of them writhed like some kind of impure creature.
ほらほらほら。よみがえって。まだ笑える？まだ笑える？
Rosa couldn't laugh anymore, but her face was laughing. It was filled with a twisted laugh and covered with a malice that rejected her unwanted daughter. I erased that laughing voice. Next, I'll erase that laughing face. I'll erase it, I'll crush it, I'll tear it to bits.
笑えよ。笑ってみせてよ、ママ。どうしたの、ママ。起きてよ。絵本を読んでよ。お散歩に行こうよ。愛してるって言ってよ。次の日曜日の約束をしようよ。お買い物に行こう。映画に行こう。そしてその約束をどうせ破るんだよ。楽しいね、ママ。楽しいね。マリアは今ママと遊んでるんだね。
そうだ、そなたは今母と遊んでいるの。じゃれているの。どうか今の感情は怒りでも悲しみでも苦しみでもない。
そうだね。わかるよ、ベアトリーチェ。私は今すっごく楽しいよ。ママと遊んでるんだもん。すっごく楽しい。そしてママを何度も何度も殺してるのに、魔法一つで好きなだけ生き返らせられる。おもちゃは壊したら直せないから大事にした。でも治るおもちゃなら何度でも壊したい。でも作太郎は治らないんだね。治せないんだね。作ったママが、産んだママが認めないから。私もママに認められてないんだね。だから壊れたマリアも。楽しいな。楽しいよ、ママ。こんなにも楽しくなったら、なぜかママが許せる気がしてきたの。ねえ、ベアト、これはとっても不思議な感情。どうしてマリアはママを許せる気持ちになってきたの？
それは生き死にを自由にできる力を得た魔女のみがたどり着く圧巻の境地。いつでも殺す。必要なら蘇らせ、面倒ならまた殺せばいい。それをいつでも指一本鳴らすだけでできることを知ったなら、人の世のざれ言、その全ては聞き流すに等しい虫の声いいかい。そなたに母を許そうという感情が芽生えた。そなたが母の愛に目覚めたからではない。そなたが今こそ真の魔女の世界の入り口に立ったからだ。ようこそマリア。深遠な、そして甘美なる魔女の世界へ。
マリアはもうマリアじゃない。まだ見習いかもしれないけれど、人間の世界を超えた。私はもう原初の魔女見習いマリアなんだ。もう私は何も悔しくない、悲しくない。ママ、許してあげるよ。きっと私はママを許せる。も ちょっとしたら許せると思うの。だって魔女だから。
Maria would probably forgive her mother eventually, after brutally murdering her countless times, graciously.
Oh, でけえな、今の落雷は。
Alright, so we're not actually going to end here. I feel like I want to take some time out and talk about all that. Also, talk about some other characters while we're at it. I guess we'll talk about every character. Well, even some I don't really have much to say about, but we'll see. So, Kinzo, I really enjoyed the Kinzo that we saw in that scene a while back, where he was just like tearing apart every sibling, and he's just kind of like laying it all out on the table, basically. And I felt that was like pretty refreshing. Obviously, I don't think most of that happened, but I do think that Kinzo is alive. I think that he's probably alive. And I have a feeling that Battler might come to the conclusion that people are conspiring to say that he's alive when he's not actually alive. But I feel like Beatrice is going to be able to say in red that he's alive, and we might even see that ourselves when he personally meets with us. Nanjo, I still feel the same about him as the last time I talked about him. He's really, really honest, I think, but he's also really suspicious in that so many things hinge on him. So, like, he's given no reason to think that he's suspicious, except that so much of the story depends on him not being suspicious, which is suspicious in its own way. But yeah, there's not much to say there. Kraus, I don't think there's much to say about right now, at least. I mean, there was a bit more revealed about how fearful he is of Kinzo, but overall, I'm still wary not to underestimate Kraus, because I feel like he may have more going on here than we think, and we really shouldn't count him out just because he looks pitiful or seems pitiful. Natsuhi, I don't really have anything new to say about. I still actually really like Natsuhi, but I am a little worried that whatever Kraus is involved with, she's probably also heavily involved with, so I do suspect her, at least. Especially in the first episode, I think she's still very suspicious in that. Next we've got Jessica, who we didn't really learn anything new about. Basically, I don't know, right now I don't really feel anything interesting toward Jessica at all, because basically her entire character revolves around Kanon right now. And it's kind of the same with George and Shannon, but at least with George, he's got like another interesting side to him, which is like, it seems like he wants to go out and make it in the world, and he has some stuff going on with like his family and them accepting Shannon and all that, which seems like it could go places. But with Jessica, I feel like it's kind of just similar to what's going on with George, but also different in that Kanon's personality is different. So I guess this stuff, like the stuff between Kanon and Jessica, could go places later. We just haven't seen enough of them yet. But I don't feel like what we've been shown has been enough to really demonstrate any kind of, like, chemistry between the two of them. Like, I feel like the love that she feels and the love that Kanon feels toward each other is a little, like, exaggerated and hard to believe right now based on just what we've seen. Because, like, literally all we saw of them was him going to her school that one time and seeing her singing. And it's like, I don't know. That wasn't really... Compared to what we've been shown of Jessica and George, I don't know. I feel like we just don't have enough yet about Jessica and Kanon to really have a firm opinion on that or anything revolving those two characters. Of course, Kanon's more interesting than Jessica because he's also got the dynamic with Shannon. But then again, so does Jessica, so... I don't know, I guess there's stuff there, but it's just right now, she's not the most interesting to me. That might change later. Ava, I will talk about in a minute. In fact, before I forget, I should just go straight to Rosa. Because we've got so much stuff going on with Rosa and Maria that I feel like it'd be a huge elephant in the room to not even, like, talk about Rosa and Maria at all. So I guess I should start by saying that I don't like Rosa. I know that's probably shocking, a very controversial opinion, but, no, the reason I don't like Rosa, though, is not because of the way she treats Maria. I feel like Rosa is a very tragic character. She has believable reasons for why she is the way she is. And, she also has stuff going on that can kind of make you feel sympathetic for her. But what I really don't like about her is the insincerity that she has. Like, let's compare her for a second to Ava. Ava is a horrible person, right? But she wears that on her sleeve. Well, literally, like, she wears the Ushinomiya crest on her arm. So, like, I feel like Ava, you know what you're getting with Ava. She's a venomous, angry, toxic person. With a layer of, like, a little bit of gentleness underneath and care for her family and all that. But on the whole, she's a terrible person, right? But I like Ava, because I feel like she has that, and you know what you're gonna get with her. But with Rosa, I feel she puts on this front of being this kind, caring person. And, I don't know, that's like basically just the way she lies, and, like, it's really insincere about everything. Like, if she was more honest, I feel like I'd be able to appreciate her more, but even when she is honest, and it's like, in episode 2, she played a really big part in that, and she kind of, like, took off the mask a little bit, but I feel like the damage had already been done. And, like, that scene with her kind of, like, dancing with Maria, saying, like, oh yeah, I love Maria, and it's like, I don't know, like, that's the part of her that I really don't like. Like, when we first talked about the characters, in the first episode, Rosa was my favorite character because I was buying the character that she was playing. I felt that I liked the sincerity that I thought she had, and the I don't want to say, like, kindness, because she was strict with Maria, and it seemed like, yeah, she could sometimes get angry and hit Maria and stuff, but I was willing to forgive that at the time, because I felt like she had her reasons, and it's like she was, like, still, I don't know, like, a person with emotions and all that. But I feel like now, it's like, she's gone beyond being, like, a human, and she's turned into, like, almost like a person without any emotions. It's like she's so damaged by her past with her siblings and everything that she can't even recognize that, like, literally everything wrong with her life right now is her own fault, and she blames everyone else but herself for everything, and it's like, I don't know. I don't really like Rosa at this point, and I don't think that's going to change, because we've seen enough of her now that, like, the mask has been lifted, the veil has been lifted, the honeymoon phase is over, so, I don't know. I don't think there's much there for her, but she is a really, really interesting character, I will give you that, and I think she's really well written, and, yeah. And then we've got Maria, her daughter, which, on some level, you do have to feel bad for her, but you also do have to recognize that she's not quite right herself, which obviously everything about that is Rosa's fault, because, like, Rosa did not raise her properly. She's not qualified to be a mother. She probably should not even be allowed to take care of Maria, but at the same time, when you talk about just how Maria is, despite all that, I feel like she uses the idea of witches and magic as a form of escapism. And, like, the Maria that Ange was talking to, I feel like that's the Maria after she got her revenge on Rosa. That's the Maria that sees magic as a way of healing all wounds. How, like, looking away from reality can cause you to, just, like, create your own happiness by denying reality. And I feel like that's probably, like, an important theme of this game, is, like, the idea of creating convenient fictions when you don't like reality. Like, even Battler was ready to accept that the witch was behind everything when he didn't want to suspect that one of the people around him was a murderer. So I feel like that's going to be really important. I feel like Maria is kind of like the most emblematic of that, of all the characters. Yeah. I feel like I've given my thoughts now on Maria and Rosa. I had a lot of that swirling around. Like, I had most of that swirling around even before the huge scene we just saw. And I was even going to say that it would not surprise me if, for example, we got, like, a scene of her on one of her quote-unquote vacations with like, a man, and it turned out that the man was, like, completely abusive and all that and stuff like that. I was expecting something like that to happen. But even then, my opinion of her wasn't going to change. So now that it's revealed that actually the men that she's dating are completely reasonable, and it's really just her awful personality that's pushing them away, that I feel like that's just making it even more, like, that's just, like, digging me even further into my position that I just don't like Rosa. Yeah, so let's move on. Hideyoshi. We don't really have anything new about him. Rudolph. I liked what Rudolph said about Battler when everyone was talking about their feelings on their grandchildren. I still feel like I want more about Rudolph. I want to know why Rudolph and Battler don't get along. I want, like, a detailed flashback about what went on in their past. Hopefully we get that. Then I'll have more thoughts about Rudolph. I'm still not sure whether Rudolph and Battler, or I mean, whether Battler and Ange are both, because I noticed that both Battler and Ange have red hair. And I feel like that's gotta come from somewhere. Maybe Kinzo had red hair when he was young, I don't know, but I feel like that red hair has probably gotta come from somebody. So it would make sense if Battler's mother, Asumu, had red hair, which would mean that Ange probably would have also been the daughter of Asumu. But then some shady stuff maybe went down involving Kirie and Rudolph and Asumu's death when she... I don't know. Because, like, the time that Asumu died is around the time when Ange was born, so... It's kind of like there's some suspicious stuff going on there that I'm not sure about. But even despite all that, I still really like Kirie as a character. Because I really like the intelligent type. So, even if she turned out to be a horrible person and evil, like, just like I like Ava, despite her being a terrible person, even if Kirie turns out to be horrible, I will still like her, because I feel like she's competent, she's intelligent, and she's just the opposite of Rosa in every way, basically. Genji. We don't really have anything new to say about him. In fact, I don't think I have anything new to say about any of the servants. And I think that'll cover pretty much everything for all of the characters. So, actually, we haven't actually had a chance to talk about some of these characters. So we've got Okanogi here. He was introduced as the leading member of the Ushinomiya group. I actually like this guy a lot. I like the way he thinks. He kind of, like, plays both sides. He's completely neutral. He has a habit of, like, feeling empathy towards everybody. Just kind of being everybody's friend. And I feel like that's a nice way to... I mean, it'll piss a lot of people off, but it's a nice way to get by in life, and I can appreciate that. We've got the Sumadera Kasumi. The entire Sumadera family seems that they're almost just as twisted as the Ushinomiya family. I don't know if they were always that way, or if they were only that way when in this timeline where Rosa survived with all the gold and all that. I don't know, but obviously Kasumi Sumadera, not a very nice person. We don't really know much else about her. We don't know why she is the way she is, and we don't know anything about the family surrounding her, so can't really make a good judgment. But we know that Kirie doesn't like her, and we know that she seems pretty awful, so that almost makes Kirie seem a little more, a little less, like, suspicious that she might be a bad person, you know? So. Next we've got Amakusa here. I don't really know what to feel about him, but I don't have any feelings in particular. He seems like a character that is meant to make sure that Ange here has somebody to talk to. I don't know. Maybe he'll have like a climactic moment when they're on the Rokenjima, and he'll kind of like, I don't know, maybe die protecting Ange or something. And we'll get some more about that later. But right now, I just don't have much to say about him. Professor Otsuki is just kind of a unimportant character off to the side here, but I do like the idea of him, like the idea of the character that is like pasting together like the occult stories and all that, and like really obsessed with all that, and obsessed with like figuring out Rokenjima. But obviously, like, as a character, I don't think he's going to be important at all. But I do find it interesting that they went into all that and introduced him and all that. Do I want to talk about, like, every single Sister of Purgatory? I don't really think so. Suffice to say that Belphegor is still my favorite. Yeah. Sakutaro. I don't feel anything towards Sakutaro, honestly. And this Maria, I feel the same as the other Maria. But I feel like this is the Maria after the scene we just saw. I feel like that scene we just saw was from the past. So, anyway. I'm not sure if I talked about Ange at all, but I really, really, really like Ange. I'm not sure if I like her more than Kirie, but I do like Ange a lot. I'm not sure if I have anything more to say concretely about that right now. I'm kind of like, after that whole Rosa rant, I'm kind of all talked out. so I don't, like, my mind's not working properly. I can't really think of what to say about Ange, but I do like her. And honestly, sometimes it's the voice actresses that that really make or break a character for me, and hers really nails it. I really like hers. Rosa's too also nails it, or at least she nailed the character that she was playing before. I did really like Rosa's voice actress, but I don't feel like she's as good when she's playing the evil Rosa. So, I don't know. That may be another reason why I don't like Rosa as much now. It's a really superficial reason, but eh. And of course, Kirie, I really like her voice actress as well. Yeah, so I think that's everything. Oh yeah, also, we've now got this new character, Gap, which I don't know what to think about. Obviously, the idea of her, like, moving things instantaneously will play into the mysteries somehow. That's going to be, like, a thing that we're going to have to explain at some point, of like, how characters got certain places where they were at certain times and all that. But, for now, she basically just exists to make Beatrice's job easier, just to make it so that she has even less to explain with magic, because it's just more powers at her disposal. So, with all that said, I will see you guys next time. So until then, take care.